Hey everyone, here I am as promised with that extremely motivational video. May I just say, well I hope, this may be one of the most useful things you see this year, this month, today, I don't know. Let's get started. How to actually achieve your New Year's resolutions. Some of the most common goals people set for themselves year after year are lose weight, eat better, get fit, drink more water, learn a new instrument, get a new job, get back into whatever, finish that novel. You know the types of things. They start the idea with the attitude of, yes, this is my year. I'm going to go to the gym every day. I'm going to go on a diet. So they do a few workouts, eat a few salads, and by February they've lost their fire, and by December nothing's really changed. This is because many people don't know how to achieve their resolutions. They know what they want, but having intentions or making plans isn't the same as actually doing something. The thing about achieving goals is you have to actually change your everyday lifestyle. You have to change your habits, you have to be specific about what you actually want and how you're going to do things. You have to be disciplined, stick to what you've told yourself you will do. Don't put off what you could start doing right now. So here is some really fucking useful advice on how to do that. Please share this video with your friends, share it on Facebook, so many of us will find it useful. Be specific. Vague versus solid goals. There's a big difference between setting a vague goal and a solid goal. So one of my New Year's resolutions is to learn French. So a vague goal would look like get better at French or get back into French. A solid goal would look like hold a conversation in French on September the 30th. Set dates, set deadlines for yourself. Be specific about what your goal is. If losing weight is your goal, don't say lose some weight. Decide on a goal weight and stick to it. Loads of people want to drink more water this year, and aside from the fact that the 8 glasses a day thing was invented by bottled water companies to get you to buy bottled water, aside from that, drink more water is vague. Specify that you will fill and drink a litre jug of water each day. Particularly for big goals, you're going to have to figure out how you're going to get from where you are now to where you want to be. For just about anything you want to achieve, you can break down goals into steps. A big goal can look terrifying and gloomy and impossible to achieve until you break it down into first I do this, and then this, and then this. Break it down into step 1, step 2, literally one step in front of the other, and eventually you've walked a mile, right? One step at a time and you've achieved your big scary goal. Learn French kind of sounds daunting, right? Well, not if I break that down into steps. Whatever your goal is, no matter how huge and daunting, you can identify the small steps that you need to get it done. So for me, for that goal, step 1, go to the library and hire a French course book, or go to the bookshop and buy one. Get a Duolingo account. Practice for half an hour after dinner every day. Seek a language learning buddy online. Those are my steps to achieve my goal of holding a conversation in French on September the 30th. It's an arbitrary date, but it really helps to be specific and set dates. Say you would like to start a small business. Now that is a big, scary goal, but you can break it into steps. And each step by itself is not so scary. For a small business, like step 1, do market research. 2, write up a business plan. 3, visit the bank for a loan. 4, find a premises or get a website built. 5, register your company. 6, purchase your products. And so on and so forth. Breaking down a big goal into a series of small tasks makes it way more achievable and less daunting. If it's something that's going to take a long time, start now, because the sooner you start, the sooner you'll get it finished. So that's why you should never procrastinate. Now, there is a blog post attached to this video, and in that blog post I have linked some of the most useful articles I've ever read in my life. I'll let the articles explain because they can do that far better than I can here. One is about why we procrastinate, followed by how to stop procrastinating. Seriously worth reading. Do it as soon as this video is over. Do it. This is an order. There is also an incredible article which outlines the fact that it is what you do that matters rather than who you are. It's one of the best and most useful things I have ever read, and I insist that you do as well if you have not already done so. So that blog post will be linked in the description box below this video on YouTube. Take the first step today. Why today? Why not today? Are you busy right now? No, you're not. You're sat there watching YouTube videos. If there's a project you want to work on, a dream you have in mind, start working on it as soon as you finish this video. Why not? Excuses are dumb. Look at large projects like building a brick house. You lay your first brick, you've made a start. Even if you only lay 1 brick a day, after a while you have a house. The person who plans on building a house still has nothing. Write the first page of the novel you want to write. Book your first guitar lesson and go to it. Lay the first brick, then the second brick. Eventually you'll have a novel written or you'll be a great guitarist. Also, if you get worn out from working on one project, you can take a break from it by working on another. It feels the same as taking a rest, but you're still getting shit done. Yeah, true change only comes from changing your lifestyle. You have to alter what you do every day in order to change your life. And an incredibly effective way of changing your everyday lifestyle is with, drumroll please, habits and mental anchoring. You may not be aware of all the small things that you do throughout the day, which are habits, things you do without thinking. Consider this. So when you get into your car to drive, you sit down, you put the keys in the ignition, you put your seatbelt on, you close the door, position your feet on the pedals, turn on the ignition, your hand automatically moves to the handbrake, then moves the gear stick, your head turns to look for hazard, your feet and hands move with the precise amount of pressure and motion needed as you reverse out of your driveway. All of this within a few seconds. And are you thinking hard about all these things as you do them? No, they are habitually fixed into your brain. You've done this loads of times, and while it's a bunch of complex actions, you don't need to think about it. Doing one thing after another like that is it's ingrained, it's habitual. Brains are really amazing that way. So there will actually be tons of things you do every day automatically, without even thinking about it. Identify them and it will amaze you. I found that, for example, when I sit down to apply my makeup, my hand automatically reaches to my face to remove my glasses, even if I'm wearing contact lenses. My brain goes, makeup time, remove glasses, because it's habitual. Anyway, getting to the point, the thing about habits is that you cannot remove them. However, you can swap one habit for another, or you can attach or anchor one habit that you already do to something new that you want to do. For example, if you'd like to give up a bad habit this year, you can swap that bad habit for a good one. But even easier than that is attaching something new to a habit you already have. Say you hardly ever remember to brush your teeth, but you make breakfast every morning. Make grabbing your toothbrush the first thing you do after breakfast. Put down toast, pick up toothbrush. And after a few days or however long, your brain starts linking breakfast, brush teeth. Your brain mentally anchors one thing to another naturally. One thing will remind you of another. Maybe there's a song that reminds you of someone you used to know. Exactly. And you can control your own mental anchors. Am I making sense here? I really hope so, because this is very important. Anyway, I used this anchoring technique recently, myself. I kept forgetting to take my medication, and so kept suffering the unsettling withdrawal effects. I tried a bunch of stuff to make myself stop forgetting to take it, I tried marking it off on a calendar, writing it down on my daily to-do list. But I would forget to write it down or mark it off. So I thought about what is something that I do every day habitually. Every morning I wake up and the first thing I think of is get a V from the fridge. I've drunk a can of V every morning for years and years. So I attached taking the pills to drinking the V. For a few days I swallowed the pills with my first mouthful of V in the morning. Then it became a habit and I have not once forgotten to take in my medication provided I have V, which you can almost always guarantee that I will have. And weirdly, the only times I haven't taken the medication recently is when I've run out of V. That's how strongly those two actions are attached to each other, anchored to each other. It works. It's amazing, really. Now when I wake up, my brain goes, get a V from the fridge, take medication. I attached something new that I wanted to do every day to something I already did every day. Perhaps you want to work out this year and get fit. That's a really common goal. And it's also one that is fairly rarely achieved. It's one of the main things people sort of mean to do at the start of the year and fail to do. But, intending to do something is the same as actually doing it, right? No, of course not. People often use their initial burst of motivation to buy a gym membership, go a couple of times, like I said, eat a few salads, then lose their fire and start making excuses after not that long. Yes, joining a gym is the first step, but it is not enough. You have to make going to the gym part of your routine. Attach the thought of going there to something you already do several times a week. Maybe you work part-time, for example. So make going to the gym the thing you do straight after work. If you don't want to spend the money on a gym, like make going for a run part of your routine. Whatever it is you want to do that you want to get into the habit of doing, attach it mentally to something you already do. Maybe when you finish brushing your teeth, that's when you go for a run. And after not long, without even thinking about it, every time you brush your teeth, your brain will go, brushing teeth, we go run now. So like I said, to make real change, you have to change your everyday lifestyle. Make daily to-do lists. I get shit done by making a to-do list every day. I have a small whiteboard in my room. This list is detailed and includes things like shower, fix self up, cup of tea, email so-and-so. The basic stuff, as well as everything else I have to do. It works best if it's in order. And be specific when writing your daily to-do lists, and mark off each item as you do it. It gives you a small feeling of triumph with every tick or cross out. Lists are a great tool for time management, and just getting all the shit done in a day that you need to. If there are things on that list that you don't want to do, but you have to do them, exercise your willpower muscle. Yes, that sounds weird. Let me explain. But yeah, willpower seems to work like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Basically, to do that, you just have to do the things you don't want to do, but have to do often. Successful people are successful because they've worked and done things they didn't want to do. The more often you trudge through these unpleasant tasks, the easier it becomes to gain the willpower to do them. Also, you feel really good when you finish a task you didn't want to do. Exercise your willpower. Focus on what you want and visualize your achievements. The phrase "you can do anything you put your mind to" is a cliche because it's true. Focus on what you want and often. Don't think about what you don't want. The power of positive thinking is actually very powerful. Imagine yourself having already achieved your goals. See yourself with a new job. Feel how much you're enjoying it. Imagine your bank account balance now that you've got your savings. Feel excited with the things you can now buy with your savings. Play movies in your head, visualize things, and feel good while you do so. It sounds lame, but put positive energy into the thoughts of what you want. Because you can achieve anything you want. Really. Seriously. So whatever your goal is, imagine that you already have it. And if you can, if it's possible, surround yourself with positive, ambitious people, because that sort of thing rubs off and is inspiring to be around. Failing all else, you can terrify yourself into action, or burn your bridges, as Mr. Owl puts it. This one's kind of extreme, so it's really going to depend on your situation, but you can give yourself no other option than success. Say you hate your job and want a better one, but scrolling through job ads, ringing up places, it's tedious, right? So by the time you're home in your free time, you don't feel like job hunting, but months later you're still there and you're still resenting it. So quit your job. Seriously, quit your job. And then you have no other option than to find another one right now. Scare yourself into action. Kind of extreme in some cases, but having the panic monster chasing you into doing something you really need will get that shit done ASAP. I did this recently when I lost most of my hours at work. Naturally, I went straight to the welfare office and started the process of receiving a benefit to keep me financially afloat. Then I decided on the spot to abandon the reception of a benefit. I said, I'm not giving myself this option. There will be no cushion to land on. I halted the process, so I had no income, giving myself no other option than to find work right now. So that same day, I contacted a shop at random and asked if they were hiring. They said yes, they were. So I dropped in a CV, and then I came in for a trial, and now I have more work. And this was after failing to find more work for over a year. I put the panic monster into action and it chased me into getting a job. Now, it's not many hours and the pay is low, but it is better than nothing. And had I failed, I would be fucked. There was no option other than success. So look at my blog post and read the articles linked in it to know what I mean when I say panic monster. On a slightly different tangent, you don't know what you're good until you try it. If you're uncertain what you'd like to achieve this year, try something completely new and random. Maybe you reckon you don't have a musical bone in your body, so look up music teachers and book violin lessons. For all you know, you might be secretly amazing at violin. How do you know if you haven't tried? Go sign up for an introductory course in engineering, chemistry, electronics, zoology. Maybe it's something you've considered before, maybe it's not. You could have all the secret talent inside of you that you weren't aware of. Here's an example. I always thought I was rubbish at music because I wasn't allowed to study it at school. Eventually I learned to play drums because, well, as a drummer, you don't need to know anything about music just to keep a beat. So I guess the year before last I decided to learn piano. So I borrowed a keyboard from a friend. At first it was just lame plunking with one hand, but I practiced every day. I used online lessons, I read up about scales, and I learned to play some songs. And 4 months later I was playing piano on stage while singing and writing my own music. If I can do that, you definitely can. You can get good at anything by practicing. Music, singing, building, hairdressing, makeup, photography, anything. Never doubt your own abilities. You don't find yourself, you make yourself. Who do you want to be? Like, instead of spending your life searching for who you really are, or waiting to see what God or fate has destined for you, make your own destiny. Choose your future. It is very hard to say these things without sounding extremely lame. But there we go. So this was long, but I do hope you found it helpful. And thank you very, very much for watching. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. I put out at least 2 videos every week. Now click the link in the box below and go look at the articles I mentioned. Do it now and then get on with achieving your goals. I really hope you found this useful, and if you have, give it a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, do please share it with your friends, share it on Facebook. Either my speech or the articles, could make quite a big difference in somebody's life. Take care of yourselves, be nice to each other, much love, and I'll see you next time. Bye!